Hello, is this Brittney?
This is.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Omar Rodriguez. I'm from the Metal Mixtape in Oregon. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am super good, and I just want to tell you how damn excited I am to talk to you today.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, I've been hearing about Unleash the Archers for a long time now, because I know you played in Medford, Oregon before, and my friend Jimbo, used to tell me all about you and your band. And I did not listen to Unleash the Archers until until Abyss came out.
Nice.
Just because I'm listening to so many bands and everything. I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen. And when I listened to that song, I thought it was like one of the best metal songs I've ever heard in my entire life. And you are hands down, in general, like one of my favorite vocalists of all time already.
Well, thank you so much.
So yeah, I appreciate it, and I love the new album. I love older songs too. Like Tonight We Ride, Cleanse the Bloodline, Northwest Passage was just absolutely great. And yeah, I'm just so first off, I just want to say, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah.
You must have a busy schedule with the new album and all the press.
Oh yes. Yes, nonstop.
Yeah, no, I follow you on Instagram and on YouTube, and I'm just like, man, it seems like every day she's pumping out content.
Yep. No, we got to try and stay top of mind and keep in front of everybody. So, especially with the pandemic, people are kind of hungry for new content and new media. So we're just doing our best to, feed that hunger.
No, absolutely. So before we get into your new album, I want to get to know you a little bit. So, just reading up a little bit about you, it was saying like the band started in 2007, 5 studio albums, 2 EPs, 2 demos. I get all that information, but what I want to know is that when did you start singing when you started growing up? Like, did you always know that you wanted to sing for a metal band? Were you influenced by family? Or how did the journey for Brittney start?
Yeah, absolutely. Music has always been a really big part of our family. My dad played in a band, actually paid the bills with music back in the day before I was born. So, we always had all of his equipment in the basement, and I used to take his old SM57 and stand on the fireplace and pretend it was my stage and, sing into the imaginary crowd. So, yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. And when I was 8, I started singing in choir and sang in choir, my entire youth, basically. And I was doing musical theater and all that kind of stuff. So it was always a huge part of my life. But it wasn't until university that I really kind of realized that heavy metal could be something that I do. It was always just something that I loved and loved listening to. But it was always, famous people played in bands, not just regular people. And so when I sort of started to become a part of the local metal scene in Victoria, where I was going to school, and it was just so fun and so cool, and it was like, what? I could totally do this. So when the band that Scott was in all through university broke up, I was like, let's do this, and we started Unleash the Archers together.
That is absolutely incredible. Being in a band, especially in metal nowadays, with the internet and just, people, it's a lot harder right now for musicians to get by like it was back in the day. Did you think that Unleash the Archers was going to go this far and be able to sustain the work ethic it takes to have a metal band in today's scene?
Absolutely not. I mean, we just kind of worked towards something day after day. It was never like, oh, this is our goal, this is where it all ends, or this is the moment when things are going to be, finished or done or anything. There was never really anything like that. It was just kind of working to achieve the next thing. And the next thing was always, let's tour the United States. And then once we did that, it's like, okay, let's tour Europe. And then once we did that, I was like, okay, let's tour, do the festival circuit. And it's just always kind of been, we've taken it goal by goal, and never has it been something like, okay, we're going to be super famous and I'm going to live off of the music, and I'm going to, it's never been like that. It's never been the point. It's just, I would probably go crazy if I didn't have music if I didn't play and if I didn't, write new music every once in a while. So it's really just kind of a part of, who we are as musicians, and we wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
No, absolutely. I think it's easily like a mentality you're born with, or you have to really stick through music, because I know there's ups and downs, or maybe like, switching up band members where maybe you feel down for a second, but you have to keep going forward. So like you said, you've done the tours of the United States, Europe, you've done the festival circuit, and was there like a staple show where like you were growing up and you had like your first really big show where maybe you opened for a big band that like kind of like you had like that band moment where you looked at your bandmates and was like, man guys, I think like like this is like our first shot. Did you ever have a show like that growing up?
I mean, it was never, yeah, I mean, like when you're younger, you kind of think like, oh my God, we're going to open for 3 Inches of Blood and our entire lives are going to change. And, you kind of have that naive notion, but I don't think it was ever like a point where I was like, okay, you guys, we have to nail this because someone's going to see us and they're going to pick us out and be like, you guys are the best, and sign us to, Interscope or something. It wasn't ever like that. And I think it's probably because also of where we were at. We weren't idiots. We knew that there's no label reps in Victoria, BC, Canada. It was always just kind of like, what a cool opportunity. You get to open for a band that you love or that you look up to. And it was always just kind of like, ooh, maybe we'll get to say hi to them backstage, basically. But, yeah, I don't think that, I mean, maybe when the first time we played in LA, I think it was kind of like, ooh, this could be something cool, But then after you play the show, you're just like, nope, just another night, another night on the
road. No, I think that's awesome. So you were saying, you guys have toured Europe. You played the festival circuit. Was there a festival that maybe you've always wanted to play that you played that like maybe you got like crowd shocked? Because I know I've talked to other musicians where like maybe they played Wacken or a festival before, and they're just like, it felt like standing at the edge of a building, this like, did you ever have a moment like that where like you played a festival and it was like the most people you've ever seen?
Well, we were supposed to play Wacken for our first time this summer, and we were really looking forward to that, and so I think that was definitely going to be that moment for us. But unfortunately, COVID had other plans, so I think that moment was kind of taken away from us. But when we played 70,000 Tons, it was really cool. It was kind of like, oh my God, we've been waiting for this for so long, and it's always been a goal of ours because the organizers behind it all are from Vancouver, so we've always known about it, and it's always been a big thing to us, and kind of what all the young bands in the scene are looking forward to. So that was probably a really cool moment, but it was nerve-wracking, and you just want to do your best and impress everyone. But I think that's every show as well. I kind of feel like that before I step on the stage, no matter where I'm at.
So, do you prepare the same way you would for a small show for like a big show? Like I'm talking like exercises, like what does the band do to like stay top notch like on tour? Because I've done a tour for a week before and I was dead by the end of the tour. How does everybody stay in shape and stay ready on tour?
Well, we practice a lot before we leave, so it's all about being in shape before you even get there. Okay. But then on the road, yeah, it's really important. Like for me, especially, I have to warm up at the beginning of the tour. Especially, I have to warm up for like an hour, and then as the tour goes on, and I sing more and more. By the end of it, I really only need like 20 minutes or so, and I'm ready to rock. But at the beginning there, it's definitely all about getting a really good warm-up before you hit the stage. And then if you can, just kind of clear your mind and chill yourself out, because a live show environment can kind of be like a little intense and lots of pressure, and okay, you gotta load in, and then like, okay, now you gotta do this, you gotta do that, or whatever. You got 20 minutes to go get something to eat. Like, get on it. Like, it's just constantly a super strict schedule that you have to stick by. So that can be kind of stressful, and it's always good to just take a bit of a breather before you hit the stage, and then afterwards, I can't go out and party all night long, that's for sure. The boys do, but their instruments are very different from mine. So, I'll have a beer after the show, but then it's super important because I put so much energy out there on the stage.
Yeah.
I really need to recuperate after. So normally I'll be the first one in my bunk, just kind of chilling out. And
is there something that you learned from like your first tour that like maybe you use on every tour? Because from watching your shows and you're projecting and you're doing all these notes and you, like you said, you're putting out so much energy. Did you, on your very first like big tour, did you ever feel any fatigue that maybe you learned to like, or certain habits that you learned that you shouldn't do on the next tours?
I mean, well, just aside from the drinking thing, I always knew that I have really bad hangovers, so I've never like even given that a shot. Like, let's see what happens if I go out and party with the boys tonight. Let's see if I can perform tomorrow. Like, I just know that I can't, so I've never really taken that chance. But I don't know. Honestly, it's weird. I think some people are just meant to tour. I just knew from the get-go how to take care of myself and how to, you got to have some alone time sometimes or you're going to explode. You cannot be surrounded by people all the time. So you got to know when that moment's coming and you got to get away and, go for a walk by yourself or have a dinner by yourself or whatever. It's always been really important to do that. And I think some people are just better at touring than others, and they can handle that road, and they can handle the constant push and pull of everyone. You're living in a tight space with a lot of people, and little things can really irritate you. And if you're not the kind of person that knows how to move through that without freaking out on everybody, then it's just, it's just not the place for you. So you really kind of you learn things over time, but I think it's also just kind of a natural thing for some people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think like you nailed it right in the coffin. Like it's all about that mindset and just being able to endure, because, I'm sure being on tour, like, maybe some days you're not having the best days and some days you're having good days. And it's just, I think what you said, just going off and like having a dinner by yourself and just being able to collect your thoughts is like the best thing you could do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's very important for sure.
So, Alicia Archers, you guys have been out for a while now and played all these shows and all these festivals. Was there? Did you ever have kind of like a fangirl moment where like you met like a certain musician or a certain band that you got to play with, where like you met them and they were like totally cool? Did you ever have a moment like that?
I mean, I'm sure I did, but
sorry, it's a big question.
I can't really think of it right now. I mean, the first time we played with 3 Inches of Blood, that was like super cool. I thought that was the greatest, and we like partied with them afterwards and had a really great time, and that was a bit of a fangirl moment, I think. But I mean, yeah, I'm really trying to think. I can't think of a moment right now. And
no, it's okay.
It's hard.
So, okay, here, we'll move on, and maybe if you think about it, you let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so with the new album Abyss, I've listened to all your other albums. What is your thought process like when you're trying to write an album, maybe starting from the beginning? Is the thought process to evolve and maybe make things more technical, or is it just to try to do something that you haven't done before? Like, because like with Abyss, I heard like a lot of keyboards, a lot of like melodic singing. Like, how does it go, like, when you write a new album? Like, what is your thought process with the rest of the band?
Well, we don't like writing the same record over and over again.
Yeah.
And we do try to evolve, but not necessarily, like, technically. It's just kind of more about what haven't we done before and what kind of genre haven't we tried yet, and, just what are we listening to right now that we really love, that we'd kind of like to bring through in our own music. That's always been really important to us, that our influences are just kind of laid out there for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
So with Abyss, it was really important to us that we write something new and exciting, and it's one of the reasons why we added the synthesizer in there, is because we wanted, we're all big synthwave fans, like huge. So we were like, okay, well, obviously we're going to put synth on this new record. And also it was we wanted it to be set apart from Apex, so that people didn't just think that we were writing Apex 2. So we really brought the synth in to do that. But we felt, Time Stand Still was our 2015 album, and it was kind of this weird amalgamation of old members and new members, and we all had, songs that we threw into the pot, and, some songs started with a vocal melody, and some songs started with like a kick pattern that Scott really wanted to do, or, it was just kind of all over the place. And so I feel like Apex was just a better version of Time Stand Still, and we did not want to do that for Abyss. We really wanted to set it apart. So we took a huge break in 2019. We only played one show, and then the rest of the time we took off from music in general, didn't jam or even see each other really, and then we came together at the last half of the year to write Abyss together, from a new place, mentally, musically, and we wanted to incorporate, a lot of the new music that we had discovered during that time, during that break from everything. So, we really, definitely set out with this goal to write something different and new and exciting, but also, still keep our same kind of style in there. We didn't want to completely alienate our fans, so there's still some of that typical UTA type stuff on there, but yeah.
No, I love that answer, and I think the fact that you took almost an entire year off to gain new influences, just everybody collect themselves mentally. I think that's really healthy for any band in this industry, just because like you were saying earlier, it's like, especially now with COVID, it's like it's content, constant interaction, and and we're human at the end of the day, and we only could take so much,
Yeah, exactly.
So, like you were saying, you added the synths into the music and all. Does the band ever worry that you might get fans that might not like your new stuff, or do you just try to keep it in the mentality that you just want to play what you want to play? Because nowadays, with YouTube and social medias, so much opinionated, a lot of times, when a band maybe changes their style a little bit, people might not like it. Does that ever cross your mind when you try to write something new?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we knew right away there was going to be people that were just like, what, they put synth on and I'm not listening, and just wouldn't give it a chance. But we don't write for those people. We write for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we write for the fans that understand who we are as people and listen to our music, not just because of the music that we write, but because they support us. And that's really, important to us, that we don't try and meet the expectations of everyone, because then it just gets messy and you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what path you're on, and why are you writing this song for someone that doesn't matter. You're the one that has to play it on stage at the end of the day. You're the one that has to really enjoy it. Otherwise, you're going to be up there hating it, and everyone's going to be able to tell that you hate it. So, why? Don't do that. Write for yourself. Write music that you love, that you enjoy. And so, because we are so into synthwave right now, we were just absolutely, we're putting synth on the record because we love synth, and it's fun. And just, people are going to be opinionated. There's going to be people that love it and hate it no matter what you do. You could write the worst song on the planet, and there's going to be people out there that are like, ooh, I love it, and then you could write the biggest epic masterpiece of all time, and you're going to have people that are like, nope, total trash, their last record was better. There's
Absolutely.
nothing you can do. So do not ever write for anyone other than yourself and those that are going to love what you do no matter what. Seriously.
I love that answer. You got me over here all riled up. I feel like I just want to kick a door down.
I tend to get a little passionate when talking about music sometimes.
No, I feel that just because, I've been myself. I'm in a thrash metal band, and now the band is moving more into progressive. And we always thought in the back of our heads, everybody who's loved us for being thrash is going to hate us now. So that's the only reason I said I was all riled up.
Yeah, now it's just kind of like, yeah, right? If you have fun, if you love what you're writing, if you put everything into it because you're just super excited about it, that totally comes across in the music and live.
Yeah.
And people can see it and they can feel it, and it adds this power to it that otherwise wouldn't be there. So don't try and meet other people's expectations, and not just in music, in life.
Yeah.
You got to do what you want to do, because that's the only path to happiness. Like, seriously.
I love that. I love that answer, and that makes me happy. And that's one of the reasons I love doing these interviews, because I get to talk to passionate people like you. All right, Brittney, we talked about a whole bunch of things throughout the band's history. We talked about Abyss. Now, this is the second half of the interview. It's going to go by really quick. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you're going to have 30 seconds to answer each question. Brittney, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In a zombie apocalypse, to kill the zombie horde, what is the one weapon you would want if you could have any weapon?
Katana.
Katana. All right. If you could play in a band for one set in any era, what band would that be?
Iron Maiden.
Oh, I love it. All right. Is there a food that you absolutely hate? You can't stand the smell. You can't stand the look. You can't stand the taste?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I just can't think of it right now. Meat.
All right. If you could be a superhero, supervillain, or an anime character for the rest of your life, who would that be?
Superman, for sure.
All right. For Unleash the Archer fans, is there a guilty pleasure band or artist that you listen to when you're not listening to metal that your listeners might not expect that you listen to?
I don't think any music is a guilty pleasure. I think just listening to music in general is something that you should always be proud of, regardless of what you think others may think. But I guess people might be surprised to hear that I listen to pop music, like Lady Gaga or Billie Eilish. Definitely been jamming their records lately.
Hey, I love it. I always say when you listen to music, it's just what you're feeling through the day. When I get paid at work, I listen to gangster rap. When I'm having a hard day, I listen to death metal.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Don't make rules for yourself.
All right, Brittney. Before I let you go, will you do me one last favor?
Sure.
Will you say this is Brittney Slays from Unleash the Archers, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape?
Can do.
When you're ready.
This is Brittney Slays from Unleash the Archers, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I can't wait for COVID to die off so I can go see you live. Thank you so much, Brittney, for giving me some time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
You too.